Hey.
Oh my God, you hear my voice? Oh my goodness, Amber.
I
Well, today will be an
know.
interesting show. Ay, ay, ay. And thank you for everyone's patience. I would have loved to have started at 7, or even 7:30, but hmm. Let's share to our friends, and then we'll go into what happened. Actually, while Amber and I are both sharing to our friends in our groups, you can see I feel like the Phantom and like very much in the shadows. I guess I could tell everybody what happened to me yesterday. What do you think, Amber?
Sure. Actually, I wanted to let everyone know I'm wearing my 6 New York Queen shirt in honor of your weekend trip to New York. I felt
Well,
it
thank
was
you. I'm
fitting
wearing
to keep
my
for the
the
weekend.
Power of Love shirt from Heart of Rock and Roll in honor of my trip to New York and my brand new wardrobe that I apparently
Amazing.
got. I am struggling, y'all. I am struggling. So for those of you worried about why I sound like this, I am not sick. I actually got attacked on the train yesterday, which sounds terrifying, and it was not fun. And I'm just being very brutally honest. It was not as bad as it could have been. Thank goodness. I am okay. Um, it just became a very scary situation. I do suffer from PTSD um, from an experience here in Orlando that we had several years ago. And I'm oversharing, but that's what this podcast is for. So, um, the people that attacked me, and yes, I say people, it was a man who was hitting his wife and got me involved somehow and his sister-in-law. Didn't get any really good hits in, but it was really terrifying. Um, and I don't hold the train responsible. I hit the emergency button. They immediately hopped into protocol. I was very appreciative of that, but it was enough to kind of send me spiraling. The scarier part was that Amber and I were actually on the phone together.
Yep.
And so not only, was I talking to one of my favorite people, I had just found out my dad had been in the hospital, and it was a terrifying experience. What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything, guys. I have taken the train from the city into the city everywhere, and I've never in 23 years, 24 years, have I ever had an experience remotely like this. It was the first time. It is not something that's common. I want everyone to, not feel not, I want everyone to feel safe. Um, Sometimes in this life, we come across some crazy people. Um, and we can talk about some of those crazy people at shows this week too. I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. But I wound up having to take some medication when I got home last night at midnight, just to kind of make my body calm down a little bit. And then bright and early this morning, I was so excited I was able to get started with one of my dear friends and their friend show. I'm still sharing to all of our groups, guys. We have 17 of them. But share to my dear friends, or to go with my dear friend's friend show. And so excited. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Um, and yeah, whew, that was a lot to unpack and unload. Thank you for that. Amber, thank you for literally making sure I didn't die. That was
Yeah,
never going to be on the
no. Yeah, I was like sending a text. I was like, "Are you okay? Like, what do I do?" I didn't know what to do. Panic. Full
there. I
panic
mean,
mode.
there was, I panicked. I panicked too.
Right?
I panicked too, but that is neither here nor there. And guys, if you feel like talking about it, you can go right into our comment section. If you've had a good experience, if you had a scary experience, don't hesitate to share with us. Again, this is your safe space too. So if you feel like opening up about an experience, I mean, I've had some awesome experiences on the train. I've made some friends that I still talk to this day. I love traveling by train. I've never felt unsafe. Um, it was just one of those things. just one of those things.
Yeah.
Can you believe I am sharing to our groups, Amber? I am
Still,
still paying
I
for
was just gonna say, I think I started seeing some overlap, so hopefully you'll start seeing some overlap soon.
We're gonna rock and roll here. All right, I think I've got everybody. Now, if
Yep, we
you
got
are
him.
wanting to join us for our groups, you can go to our link tree, which will be updating soon, which is going to learn more about every single group that we have going on. And it is linktree / the con artist, which is my old LLC, which I'm so excited to be able to be transitioning to the Broadway fan club. So we're gonna have a good
Speaking
time with it today. Yeah. What? What'd you do now?
speaking of our groups, I wanted to share some of the highlights from our groups this week that happened.
Yeah.
So, some highlights from our groups in cabaret. There was an announcement about Gabby Campo making her Sally Bowles debut,
Mazel. Mazel. Okay.
and that happened, I believe, yesterday.
Yes. Yeah. Because you run the Gabby Campo tax chain, which I did
Yep.
not know was
Oh
a
no,
thing.
I don't run that. That's
No, but
run by.
you were on it.
Oh, I'm
You.
in it. Yeah.
Sorry, you hear the
Um.
voice.
Yeah. And Kayla Piccioni went on mid-show yesterday in The Great Gatsby for Daisy. So
Yep.
wanted to give a shout out to her.
Whoop, whoop.
One of our members, Brittany Root Ekstrom, actually commented and said, "My daughter and I were in attendance yesterday, and yes, that's exactly what happened about 40 minutes into the show. They made an announcement, turned the house lights on during the brief pause, and the show started again about 10 minutes later. Here's Kayla with my daughter at the stage door," and she posted a really nice picture of both of them. So it's really fun being in our group because you get
Yeah.
inside scoops on who's going on stage. You get to see some awesome stage door photos.
Oh, absolutely. Also, I just have to have a shout out. Our dear Ezra from our cabaret group,
Hey,
our wonderful group
Ezra.
expert. Ezra is here, and I'm so excited.
He's one
Yeah,
of our
well,
favorite members.
they are one of our favorite members. I mean, all of our members are some of our favorite, but we've got our favorites. I don't have kids, but I can imagine it's somebody who's like, oh yeah, it's my favorite child. We have lots of those.
Absolutely.
Oh my god,
And
look how bad
Ezra will
my eyes
be,
are. Guys, I swear I'm not on drugs. I'm so sorry. I'm I should like here.
I was going to say, Ezra is going to be going to see Cabaret in just a couple short weeks. We are so excited for him.
Let's talk about what I got to do for the last couple of days.
I know. You guys basically had an opposite day kind of show weekend there.
Yeah, what I was very upset to find that out. Extremely upset, but that's okay because we still got to support the shows. I guess let's get right into it. Amber, are you ready?
Yeah,
Ready to rock?
absolutely.
Hopefully our members are ready to walk. A walk.
Rock
This
and
is going to
roll.
be, guys. It is going to be a weird ass second act. I assure you. And I sound gravelly, so this is my sexy voice. As my dear
Ooh.
friend Nick puts it, this is my Miley Cyrus voice, and he's Italian and runs a country western radio station. I said, I'm
Oh,
not Miley Cyrus, but I'll take it. Sure.
quick disclaimer, I do still have the kittens. They will be here. This is their final episode with us. So if you see little
Oh,
kittens hop across the screen, just say a little hello
adopt
to
them.
them.
Adopt them.
Adopt
Uh,
them.
all right, let's get into it. So, yeah, after our show last week, we were very fortunate that we had some great stuff come our way, and me decided that I was going to come into New York this past weekend. So I made some calls, I got some stuff done, I booked my travels Tuesday, and off I went on Thursday with the intention to see as many shows that I had never seen as humanly possible. That is a hard feat. The article that I just shared over to the Broadway Fan Club, there were 17 new musicals this season. I think, what
Yeah,
did I say? I've seen 14 of them. I think the only thing
I
I
think
haven't seen is
so.
The Wiz, Hell's Kitchen, Lempicka, and I'm missing one more. What am I missing? I think that's it. Maybe I did see 14 of 17. But my goal was for this weekend, I
Oh
really
no, the Notebook, The
oh, yeah,
Outsiders.
you're right. You're right. And The Outsiders. Okay, so I saw 12 of 17. Not bad.
Not
Um,
bad.
this weekend, y'all, whoa. So I got in. This is. I'm going to give you guys my schedule, so also it helps add to why I feel and look and sound like this. It's the full immersive experience. But so I landed at about 11 a.m. in Newark Thursday morning. I took the NJT into Penn Station with I take a personal item with me, quick and easy. Uh, Rolled that into Midtown. So about a 15-minute walk. And guys, it's so simple and easy, very safe, despite my experience last night on the train getting out of the city. So that's the city's way of saying, Heather, no, don't leave us. But rolled on up and decided I was going to try to get rush tickets for a couple of shows. But I was like, all right, what? And I was on the phone every time with Amber going, all right, what am I going to see? Okay, what should I go see?
Right.
And I do this like a phone, like people hold a phone like this nowadays. They don't. For members that are not watching this and only hearing this, I look ridiculous.
Yeah,
But
I've heard that the youths do this.
oh yes, the youths. Yes, TikTok has
Yeah.
the youths doing just like the hand flat to their ear. Now, if you hold your phone just flat to your ear, you're also weird.
Right.
I'm one of those pinky balancers. I have the indentation on my pinkies. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so landed, managed to pull a really fantastic seat at TKTS, one of my favorite places in the city. TDF supported Theater Development Fund. And I pulled a great orchestra seat for Gatsby. Very excited. Made the announcement on our Gatsby group and had a wonderful member say, hey, I'm here. And got up to meet with her. She actually runs jeremy-jordan.com and is friends with Jeremy Jordan. So that was nice to be able to meet up with some of our members. The show itself, guys, this is one of my reasons I don't read reviews. You can't ever listen to anyone else. Oh, it was this, it was that. I loved it. I really did. I love the book. The cast is absolutely phenomenal. Just absolutely phenomenal. There was nothing.
Yeah, and then you got the music stuck in my head all weekend. Thanks a lot.
Oopsie. Welcome. The costuming is gorgeous. The set design is just stunning. They use a lot of digital graphics for the set design, but it so works. The music is so much fun, and it's in my head as we're talking along, and I'm not going to sing it. But check it out. It was so good. And then I had the opportunity to meet house management. I think it was Danielle over there, and then Molly, who's the merchandise manager over there. And I was very excited because I got a T-shirt. If you're a hoodie girl or hoodie boy, like you like your hoodies, I will say their hoodies over there have a thick waistband that has a men's cut. So I unfortunately couldn't do that because this girl's got a butt. Um, so I got a T-shirt and I was very appreciative to even be able to get that. Went in for the rest of the show. It was incredible to hear how many people gasped. And spoiler alert, gasp when Gatsby gets shot. If you've read the book, you would know. But that scene, Jeremy Jordan was directly in front of me for, and it was beautifully done. I think the way that they handled it was well done, very clean show, very professional show. And then the stage door was very quick and easy. So if you're a stage door person, it depends on, for me, obviously with the cast that we're working with, we want to be there, and we'll get into that fun story when we talk about Heart of Rock and Roll in just a few minutes. But if you're looking to stage door for Gatsby, you're going to want to head out the theater doors. You're going to go to the left. There's double doors. And immediately, as soon as you get out of there, you will see the perfectly set up stanchions that run all the way down the block.
Yeah, you said they were massive.
It's massive, but the fans aren't rude. At least the fans. That doesn't include the flippers. So there are autograph hounds out there. While I was talking to Jeremy, while I was talking to Eva, I know Eva's boy, Reeve, and we were having a little bit of a conversation, but there was a guy who was taking a digital camera, not even a regular camera, not even a phone, and like shoved it underneath my arm and was taking a picture of Eva, and she stopped him. She said, "Excuse me, sir. Ew, no, like don't do that. That's not okay." These guys are dealing with a lot, and it was a 2-show day, so I was shocked that the cast came out.
Yeah.
Did get a chance to catch up with Sam Polly for a bit. She was on Live with Rye in January, and yeah, I mean, it was a great experience. It was a lot of fun. It was very clean, and for a matinee, it was pretty packed.
And don't forget, guys, join us in the comments. Have you seen Gatsby? Have you stage doored at Gatsby lately? Have you
Yeah.
join us? Let us know.
Are you one of the autograph hounds?
Are you a flipper?
Yeah, we don't like those. No, it's okay. You can post or not post, but yeah, let us know. And if you're not part of our Gatsby group, again, we'll run the banner where you can join us on our Gatsby group if you're a Gatsby fan or if you're a Jeremy Jordan fan. Because I'm both. I unofficially did a Newsies bingo this weekend, which we'll talk about as we go along. So,
Yeah.
but I will say, I don't think I had any issues in that show, Amber, did I?
No, not at all.
No. Um, and I set that up because
And then the rest of the weekend
and
happened.
then the rest of the weekend happened. Okay, so oh yeah, that's great. Ezra, yeah, Ollie is amazing. And we'll get into that when I talk about Tommy because that stage door was also quite interesting. Holy moly. And
And
also
you
my new
saw that
favorite singer.
awesome and then after Gatsby, you saw that awesome Tommy show.
No, after Gatsby, I saw Stuffs.
Oh, you're right. And then you saw the awesome Tommy
So
show.
Thursday night, I'm like, what can I do? What should I do? I wanted to get into Tommy. There were no rush. I didn't hit the lottery. It was very sad. I went to TKTS. They had like rear partial view mez, and I'm like, nope. Mm-mm-mm-mm. So I got the stuffs. I am not a feminist. I'm not into politics, but really enjoyed it. And apparently, I'm just like everybody else, where I'm like, it's like a female Hamilton without the rapping. But it's a story. It's based off of the Women's March, the suffragists. And everyone says suffragettes, but they will very quickly correct you on the show that that was something slapped on to make it cutesy. And the music is catchy. The storyline is very clear. I loved learning history. I always am a history buff. It's a lot of fun. The set
I love
design
when
was
they can make history like a
enjoyable.
musical and something enjoyable to learn. Exactly. I
Yeah,
feel like I wish every history assignment can just be a musical.
me too. And I think
Yeah.
that comes from my grandmother because my grandmother, when I was little, anytime I needed to learn something, she made a song up about it.
Yeah.
Like
I'll
learning
take
the
it.
state capitals. I still have. Um, I lost my heart and took my Ford in Connecticut in my head. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know that.
It's
That's just
about me.
it's about you and my friend Tim, but it's about you. Who are we kidding? Uh, but it's just here's and we're going to kind of bounce between and we'll talk about theater etiquette more, but this was the first show of the weekend that I had a little bit of a run-in with a patron. I am very much I paid for my seat, I paid for my space. I'm also very much if you have an armrest, I have an armrest. I'm very much sharing space. If your jacket is traipsed over my lap, please move it. If you spill your drink and it's enough to get on me, please move it. But where my seat was and stuff, so I was right orc, next one in from the aisle, and there were a lot of older patrons in there, which I thought was great. But at the same time, like I wish there were more people our age. I think they could learn from it. But the guy next to me, little crabby, little cranky man, even when the usher brought me down to the seat, the guy wouldn't even get up. I had to straddle him to get over. That was already like a
Gross.
gross. That was already a gross. Then I sat down and because we were side orchestra, his whole body was turned at an angle. Fine, everyone does that. He was leaning against my arm. Okay, I moved my arm. Then he had his arms crossed and his fingers were then poking into my breast. That was a big no-no.
Big no.
Big no. So that already made me uncomfortable. I kept shifting away and turning, and it was quite distracting for a bit before the show even started. Hi, Dad. Of course, my dad joins the chat as I'm talking about the old guy groping me. Cool. Hi, Dad. And then we get into the older couple that came in, and they were coming right before the show. I personally am 5'9", but sometimes I need a booster seat if some person in front of me is taller. So I had a booster seat, which is the cushions. You can ask, they're not a charge. Most theaters have a cushion, others have a hard plastic one. Those kind of suck, but they help if you want to be able to see over the person in front of you or have a better vantage point.
They definitely help if you're sitting like in the front couple rows too.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And stuff, you're not really neck strained, but I did want to have a little bit more of a vantage. But then another older couple came by and didn't even give me the chance to get up. They straddled across the old guy to my left. And before I know it, her husband is stepping down on my foot hard, full weight. And I'm like, ow, ow, ow. And then his wife goes, well, you could have gotten up. I said, if you had given me 2 seconds, I was in the process of it. Like clearly, like my arms were pushing me up out of the seat, and I kind of gave up at this point. Hi, Donna.
Right.
Didn't know what, Donna. Didn't know what.
About the boosters.
Oh, about the boosters. Oh yeah. You can find them anytime over by like the headphones. You can ask an usher for them. Sometimes they'll get them for you. Otherwise, they'll directly be got them for sure. I love them. It's really fun to be able to be like, I'm so much taller than you. Anyway, so this cranky old couple, blah, blah, blah. Then the couple behind me were super sweet. In fact, my battery for my phone was dying, and the sweet girl behind me was offering me her charger, but it wouldn't work for my phone. But
Darn.
anytime pre-show or during the show, somebody would cough. Somebody would, open a bag of candy or, laugh at a line. The cranky old leaner man. I'm going to call him the leaner man. Yeah, that makes sense. Leaner
Yeah,
man.
give him a nickname. Give him a nickname.
The leaner. I think we're gonna come up with a series. This guy is gonna be the leaner. So leaner is all up in my business. He's drinking his drink and swirling the ice around, but he's holding the playbill in front of his drink. So every time he drank it, the cup doesn't reflect, but you can hear clink, 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 clink. Fine. Every single time. Now, guys, I will warn you, Stuffs is an all-female cast. Even if it's a male portrayed part, it is a female cast.
Which is awesome.
Which is amazing. They have cast members in wheelchairs. They have cast members. It's a very inclusive cast. I think it's great. Every single time somebody would come on stage, the leaner would be like, like it was so frustrating. And you're in Stuffs. Come on, dude. Like, this is a show about like the women's empowerment movement. Like, come on.
Right.
So I was very appreciative that during intermission, I got up, had a very nice conversation with the house manager, Dennis. I think it's Dennis. I sent Amber, as I was going, I was like, I talked to this guy and I talked to this guy. And I think his name was Joe, that Joe took care of me. And they moved me to the other side of orchestra on an aisle. And I was very appreciative as I'm coughing. And I said hello to my new seat neighbors. They were in front of me, 2 very nice girls. And we were having a conversation. I'm like, in Stuffs? This guy's gonna grope you in Stuffs? He didn't grope, he poked, but still a no-no. And then it happened to be Sarah Hansen, who works for the advertising company for Gatsby and Stuffs and a couple of other shows. So it was a happy move. And again, it was like a weird situation. So we'll phrase that leaner. The show was awesome. I did not have time to rush the show because I had to haul ass a couple blocks away to go see friend of the show, Ben Cameron. He was hosting his Broadway sessions, Cabaret, over at Green Room 42, which is inside Yotel, Y-O-T-E-L. So much fun. He does it every 2 weeks. This week, he happened to do it for the cast of Tommy. And I was like, we're going to go. I'm going to go do this. I want to go do this. We have a lot of cast and crew, even parents, loved ones in that group, like our other groups do. You guys will see if you're part of our groups, you'll probably see, a parent
and this
going.
Is Pinball Wizards, the Tommy group, right?
Yes, that's correct. Pinball Wizards. And I'm going to, while I'm talking about all of my shows that I saw this week, I'm going to leave our runner ticker up for our link tree. So you can check out. So Pinball Wizards, is the group that we run for the Tommy show. The Tommy show. The Who's Tommy show. Anyway, so I hauled ass all the way over to Green Room 42. Super cool venue, cabaret style, very intimate. Ben puts on a hell of a show. You and your party, or in my case, just me, because I'm all alone because Amber didn't come to hang out this weekend. Womp womp.
Yeah, I just started back at work, everyone, so I am broke.
I'm broke, but I made it happen, and now I'm more broke. But I had to. I had to for everybody else. And that's okay. Amber's gonna come hang out one of these days. But I had a nice little table, and the cool thing about Broadway sessions in the green room there is there's no minimum, but as I'll say, there's also no maximum. So you can order food. I had honestly my dinner that night were truffle fries, and they were really tasty.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's easy. Ben plays some games with cast. And if you're part of Pinball Wizards or if you join Pinball Wizards, you will see there's a lot of photos that are coming up and videos of the cast members you would never guess either have a great voice or would sing something. And they'll sing whatever they want. Even the little Tommies. There's 2 little girls and 2 little boys that play them. Like they even went up and like sang, oh my goodness, what voices. And
So
it's just
cute.
a great time. Yeah. It's a great time. It's about an hour and a half long show. Everyone finishes the end by singing Seasons of Love just up on the stage. So much fun. It reminded me of the Broadway cruise, which apparently is starting to book tomorrow. So woohoo.
Wow.
We'll get into that another time. But it was
Don't you
just,
run that group too?
I run the, well, I don't run the Broadway Cruisers, but I do run the Broadway Cruise to alumni group. Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I know. Constantly community building over here, with my dear friend Amber by my side. But yeah, it was a great cabaret experience. Not cabaret the show, that was later in the week. But it was a great cabaret experience to be able to kind of learn about these cast members more. And at the end of the show, I did have the opportunity. I talked to Cassie, I talked to Haley, who plays Sally, and just let them know, hey, I run the fan group and blah blah blah. They were shocked. And I'm like, oh, also, by the way, some of your family members are very proud of you and they tell us all the time. And they were so appreciative and lovely and said, thank you so much. So that was really sweet. And then I spent a 35-minute walk all the way back to the Lexington Hotel, which is where I stayed this past time. And thank goodness, my friend Holly was on the phone with me the entire time as I was walking through the city. I was cold, I was tired, but I was on a buzz from essentially seeing 3 shows in one day. Very happy camp. Got back to the Lex, went to sleep at like 2 a.m., woke up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. What am I going to do for Friday? What show am I going to go see? And all I wanted to see was Tommy. I was really inspired after
Of course.
So I went over to the box office. And because sometimes it's better to go to box office if you're trying to buy resale tickets or TKTS doesn't have something. I went to the box office and met with David, who's over at the box office there. He actually used to be the theater manager, and what a lovely human he is. And he was very sweet. He gave me a great rate for a great seat. It was orchestra. It was fantastic. There's really not a bad seat in that house. If you're wanting to see all the effects, I would suggest sitting ahead of like row K. But I was very appreciative for being able to be in there. They even moved my seat because somebody came out and they gave me like 3rd row org. Just because I'm talking to them. Sometimes if you just talk to the house managers, because I travel by myself a lot, but sometimes if you just chat up and you're not asking them to do anything, you're just like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Or like, hey, how's it going? Oh yeah, well, the city is really busy or something. Sometimes they'll be like, hey, where are you sitting at? Oh, I'm sitting here. No, you're not. I've got a better seat for you.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So moved over to Tommy. I don't think this was a bad patron show too. I think this was the one, the snacker. Was this a snacker?
I think so.
Yeah. So again, we're coming up with nicknames for all the patron etiquette or lack of etiquette. The snacker. So the show itself, let's go into that. If you've ever seen a production of Tommy, it was so well done. it was nice because I know a lot of the cast, or we know their loved ones that are in part of Pinball Wizards, which again you can find right in our link tree, the con artist. Oh, hello, Kitty. But you can
Goodbye,
find
Kitty.
bye, Kitty. But you can find a lot of inside information over there as far as what we're going over now. But I was watching the show. Adam Jacobs is just, I love him. He was my original Aladdin. Love seeing him. Mama Jacobs is in our group, so happy to see her support her kiddo. And clearly he has a sister Ariel who was also Jasmine, not at the same time. But it was fun to see him on stage in a different role. And having conversations with people like when Adam Jacobs plays Captain Walker. It's different, but it was really fun. And again, for those of you who have never seen Tommy, it is a rock opera.
Right. But
The
it's
best way,
kind of deep. It's deep too.
it is very deep. There are lots of trigger warnings, and I'll even go over those. There is sexual abuse, child abuse, death, murder. It's a very deep, deep, dark show. I
Right.
was talking to a dear friend of mine, Seth, today about the show, and he said he hasn't seen it yet, but he was hoping that they would rewrite the script a little bit and make it more of that original Messiah feeling, that religious side of it. But it was really well done, and it kind of, to Amber's point, when we were talking about the show, it's very much like Repo, the genetic opera, where it doesn't stop. There's really no talking. Everything is done in song, but it's not overwhelming and it's not overdone. So having the opportunity to go see the show, it was visually beautiful. It didn't need a huge set. Oh, Kitty's on parade. Sorry, guys, I'm distracted by cute little fluffs behind Amber's head. But it was really well done. The kids did a great job portraying like little Tommy. And then Ali did this tremendous job as Tommy. And the cast worked well together. And when you watch a cast that is so cohesive in their family, it shows on stage. And from the minute that the show starts, they're all on stage. It doesn't matter if you're
Yeah.
comfortable or not, you are constantly moving for 2.5 hours. And Tassie was talking about it a lot at Ben's show and was like, yeah, you pretty much, if you're not on stage, you're in a quick change. There's
I've only seen a local production of it and it was amazing
Yeah,
still. So I
and it's
would
massive.
love to see it done on this level of,
Yeah. Oh, it was so many people. And Ezra actually just brought in, so Ezra, you just saw it this weekend too. It's very troubling and it took me a long time to fully understand it. Seeing it on stage was unbelievable and I understood it. Yeah, sometimes you don't really need words to
right.
has to be portrayed, and when a cast can do that as well, little and small children and large adults, was really quite impressive. But the whole show, person behind me, she was opening up like a cellophane bag and then taking out individual like taffies or something. So it was and I was like, I kept like turning my head around, like I'm catching you in the act. It didn't stop her. Uh, but so the snacker. Um, and then I was trying so hard to make sure, and I did buy a hoodie. I was very happy about a hoodie. Thank you very much. Which is nice and soft. I was very tempted to buy the ornament. They had a really cool like pinball machine ornament, but I kind of forgot to get it.
We have a lot of people that go into our pinball wizard groups and write, their own interpretations of the
Yeah,
story and what they think the set means.
yeah.
So those are very, very interesting to read when
Interpretive.
people write
I
those
love
up.
that. I love that our members feel so comfortable to be able to share like what it means to them because everyone can interpret it differently.
Absolutely.
That's theater. Art is interpretive. That's why I don't
Right.
like listening to reviews like, "Oh, this sucks." Really? I loved it.
Now,
Oh, this
we'll
sucks. Oh,
have
well, I thought it was
to
great.
recommend Tommy to our Fleet Street members who are looking for their next like darker show to see.
I don't know if Tommy. Well, I don't know. Again, it's interpretive. Ezra, yes, you should join that group. Damn right. Um, apparently, I just answered for both of us. To see a more traditional pinball machine, Donna. Okay, so to answer that, it's harder to do that choreography. So there are multiple scenes where adult Tommy jumps up onto the pinball machines. I don't think it was needed. You don't need that flash. You already have the set design. And to be able to see the thing moving, these sets, like things are coming in on their own. It's almost like a haunted set. It's really beautifully done.
Yeah, that's the vibe that I'm getting based on the reviews that I've read in our group, that it's like
Yeah.
a very haunted feel.
Very. I mean, it's a little bit like an acid trip. I've never taken acid. Thank you, Dad. You're watching. But seriously, it's very differently done and it's very beautifully done. And it's
Very
also
cool.
weird to see cast members who you know are so sweet portray not so sweet roles. So
Right.
there's that too. With that being said, I was very excited to go say hello to some of the cast because I had again made that connection with them, not even just on our group, but also the cabaret. And I waited and I was like, all right, how do I find the stage door? How do I find the stage door? Guys, the stage door is like the easiest stage door, but also confusing. So when you go out, it's the doors you went in or the doors that are the stage door.
Oh,
They didn't have stanchions set up. I literally was bounced. Oh, dystopian and futuristic, Ezra. I agree. Yeah. And they have the technology to do that now for the show. So I agree with how it feels for sure. So also very repo genetic opera. But yeah, so I was bounced from usher to security to usher, from front door to like over to the side, back to the front door, and back and back and back. And finally, I came back around, and security is like, "It's going to be literally right here in front of your face." And I was like, "Okay." They set
perfect.
up the mansion. There were maybe like 10 people waiting. I had talked to a couple of people who were starting their own. I can't remember the name of their little TikTok thing. They were so sweet. They just started doing it in January
Oh,
with a nice combo. But they were interviewing, like trying to interview people as they were coming. Maybe not the best time to do it, but they're also new to the world. People that have just done a show or not wanting to like give you sound bites. But if it works for them, it works for them. No judgment zone here. But yeah, as everyone came out, I was very appreciative to be able to have conversations and catch up. Um, sorry, guys. Isaiah was there and was like, so like, oh my God, yeah, my family shares all the stuff all the time. And like, I'm going to join too. And I love that. We're building these communities. And, Amber started sharing these pretty consistently with pulling cast members off the websites and sharing them to the groups, because friends and family and fans can take that,
we
grab
want to
it.
recognize everybody.
Yeah. And it's shareable. It's not like, here, check out this link. It's like, look at this picture of my child, of my loved one, of my partner or my sister or my brother or whatever. Check it out. And like, it's so cool. It's like a badge of honor. And I love that. And I'm so
Right.
appreciative Amber's been taking
Absolutely.
the time to do that. So cool. But yeah, just had a nice conversation, and they were shocked that there was a fan group, or it was just really nice. And it was weird because a lot of people stayed for like 5 or 10 minutes. But Ali, who is adult Tommy, came at the end. And everyone and he was super chill, super nice. And everyone just kind of walked away. And I was like, wow, this is a pretty organized, like, chaos. But it was really good. So yeah, a little bit of etiquette. We'll go into that in a bit. I feel like this tonight's episode might be a little bit longer than an hour. I'm rambling for 40 minutes at this point, so hang tight with us, guys. But we're gonna go into more. Dum dum dum. I did maybe eat a DD soup dumpling about 5 times this weekend, so I want some more soup dumplings. My body wants it right now. And so that's what I did for dinner. Saturday, I knew it was going to be a minimum of a 2 show day. Oops.
Yep.
Whoopsie. What did I see Saturday, Amber?
What did you see Saturday, Heather? I don't know. Any guesses?
I was really excited. So, our dear friends, what used to be Speaking Theater, have this great app called the Theater app, THEATR. And it is the best place for last minute tickets to purchase. Super simple process. I think Amber sold
Or
your
to
ticket, right?
sell. I've sold tickets on there. It's very easy.
I was kind of kicking myself since Thursday because there were a couple of tickets for the Kit Kat Club. I said the Kit Kat Club. And I was very excited. to see him pop up, but I was like, oh damn it, I should have bought it for $250. Oh, it was a mess, but and I had just had this nice long conversation with Larry Lelly and with Amber, and pretty much complaining to everybody that I was an idiot for not getting those tickets and that all I wanted to see was Cabaret. So I was like, all right, if it's $250 or under, I will buy it. And I woke up early and I set the notification on theater because you can notify on, meaning it'll set it for somebody. And it popped up for literally $250 in row H, which is the orchestra. Oh my God. And I had to call Amber about 4 times before she answered her damn phone to be like, oh my God, Amber, do I buy this?
Sometimes I suck at answering the phone, guys.
Well, yes, you do. But I was like, do I buy it? Do I buy what? What is the cat doing? Hold on, we're distracted. The cat is excited for the Kit Kat Club. Are they in a cuddle puddle? The cats are in a cuddle puddle because they hear me talking about the Kit Kat Club. That's what it is. Yeah, so I very easily bought the ticket. It was super easy. You can option. Oh, Ezra, we're getting into the performances. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry your pretty little heart out. But really easy process for purchasing tickets. They give you an option to either be emailed or contacted by email or contacted by text. I was like, whatever, they can text me. And the guy that was selling it immediately said, hey, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to send it over on SeatGeek, just confirming, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, cool. SeatGeek's the official ticket provider of the show. And I wanted to make sure, again, it wasn't questioning, should I see the show, but I wanted to make sure that Amber hadn't heard anything weird about row H. You know, was it partial view? Was it like, guys, this theater, hold on to your damn horses, y'all, because I am about to, I cried, guys, cried. I cannot begin. So got the ticket, super smooth and easy process. Immediately, that kind of triggered an email to me sent by the Kit Kat Club, which I will post on our group, which is the Kit Kat Club. Again, you can go right to our link tree, which again, I'll put right up for you. And you can go to the Kit Kat Club Cabaret on Broadway fan group. So I had about an hour to get ready. Whoops. I also decided I was going to wear a green sequin dress, and I may have forgotten very essential clothing to go underneath it. So it was a very cold walk from the Lexington to the theater. That's oversharing, but hey, I'm honest, if anything. And I was blowing Charlotte up. Charlotte is lead with her granddaughter, Maria. They lead one of Eddie Redmayne's more prominent fan groups. And Charlotte has been a huge supporter of us. I think you've probably heard us talk about her
Charlotte's
before.
a big friend of the podcast.
Amazing. And we talked the whole walk over. I was freaking out. I think we probably talked about 40 minutes, to be honest. I called her while I was in the room and like, oh my God, she's like, I'm so excited you're going to see it. I was like, I'm going to have to call you and talk to you about all these things because there's a lot. Like, I can't even talk to Amber about some of these things because she wasn't there to see it.
Right.
Blew my expectations way beyond. Now, I am a girl who likes to dress. We did have this conversation in a couple of our groups. I'm a girl who likes to dress for a show. I like to dress in character or cosplay or just in the theme. So I was very excited, got online, noticed like nobody else is dressed up, and that was okay. It was a matinee. I had always said, I don't know how I feel about a matinee, but when you have the opportunity to go, you go. So got online. The line was like the quickest process ever. Walked right in. I didn't even bring a purse, so I didn't have to like bag check or anything or go through that. I literally brought my jacket, which I'm glad I did because they keep the theater very cold inside. And then yeah, you go in and there's a hallway. I'm gonna take a sip of my tea. Bear with me. There's a hallway that is set dressed, and what that essentially is it's a set. You're walking onto a set. People had reviews that there was going to be trash and you're in the middle of an alleyway. Yeah, it's part of the set and the ambiance. It's immersive. If you've ever done Sleep No More at the McKittrick or an immersive theater experience, you are in the show from the minute that you walk in. So you walk down this long, ominous hallway, and the green glowing eye that everyone's probably seen is at the very end. As soon as you turn the corner, you're outside again. It's really weird. You're outside and they're slapping stickers right onto your phone, and that's okay. Guys, let them do this. It was like I have so I'll show you guys. I have a Samsung that has like 5 camera lenses over here, 5 camera lenses. I literally asked the girl if I needed an extra one. I was excited to not take pictures inside because it's so fun and mysterious. Um, so I let them slap it on, and they were very nice and very sweet. And went in, and you are thrust into the middle of the Kit Kat Club. You are walking down a velvety curtained hall, and you go right into, there's 3 different bars. There's the vault room, like the vault bar, which is, there's a main stage. You have a lot of the prologue performers that are playing music or dancing. It's very mysteriously beautiful and sensual. Um, there was actually a swing that I didn't even know the guy was a swing. Um, and they were just so beautifully dancing and making eye contact. And guys, they're dancing in front of you, like on top of the bar top, or playing music throughout the whole thing. Like as I came in, there was a performer who like snaked her way through the crowd. It was so immersive, and you have to just kind of settle into it. And if it makes you uncomfortable to be like that much in a theater show, then don't go. But go. Um, I wish they opened up the bars and the ambiance in the club just during the day, or when there's not a performance, so people can go check it out or have the prologue performers. So I went in, and I went down to the vault and waited in line. Bar line was maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and I got the Novelist. It's like another long drawn out name of it, but it's pretty much like a bourbon drink, like an old fashioned, nice and strong, and also a real glass, like a crystal cut glass. Here is my warning, especially, and Nick Sikor pointed this out earlier, when we were talking theater etiquette. Guys, if you can't hold your liquor, don't drink.
Right.
We're saying, oh, well, we were there an hour early and, people were getting hammered. Yeah, then get a drink. They're like, and don't complain about the prices. They're like over $20. But that's
Right.
a drink for New York. That's a New York ticket price for a show.
But you're going to see a show. It's not a frat party, which is
Right. Right. Well, they do give you a shot of schnapps. I forgot to mention that as you're going down the hall. You don't have to take it. You can.
right.
You don't have to. But
Right.
I got my drink, and I turned around. It was just nice because I had this nice heavy glass in my hand. And I learned something that you guys might want to be aware of is every seat in the house, whether you're at the tables, which are the cabaret seating directly next to, like around the stage, or the Orc, or even the Mez, something that they did with this massive multi-million-dollar renovation of the August Wilson is they're running a wooden table, essentially. Like it's about the size of like a plank of wood, and they run that in front of every row. So you have something to put your drink on top of. If you get a pretzel, you can get pretzels. You can get, like, they're called wine chips, so they're like really fancy flavored, like chips in a can, or they have Toblerone. And you can put your stuff in front of it. Put your phone down on it if you really need to be that close to your phone. Do whatever you need to do, but it's accessible. You don't have to worry about glass being thrown down to the ground. So I got a chance to explore. They do have 2 merch locations. They've got the first merch location again in that vault bar. And then I went up to the second level, which is where the red bar is. That's where everyone kind of preloads. Amber, you look very distracted. Is there a cat in your lap?
No, I thought we just made an Etsy sale.
Oh, hey, we'll talk about that in a second. So I went to the red bar and had a nice conversation with bar staff there. I also got a chance to meet the house manager, Aussie, and she was great. And there was also Jordan over there, who was very excited because he just moved from Winter Garden 2 years ago, Winter Garden in Orlando. So that was cool, a little hometown hero moment, and just had a really nice conversation with everybody. I made my way up to the green bar, where I called Amber going, do you need something for the merch booth before it gets crazy? Because
Tossed me right into it. I was on the fence, and then I was like, do it.
I did. I bought this. So they have an enamel pin that's just the eye, which is like the icon, the logo of the show. They have a shirt with just the logo. They have a cap, like a ball cap. They have a mug, which had I, not thought I'd break. It's like it's, what does it say? Oh my God.
It's hot in here.
Yeah.
In
So
here,
it's
it's so hot. In
what does
here,
it
it's
say
so
that?
hot.
Yeah, in here it's so hot. Thank you. And they have this gorgeous silk scarf that is hand printed and signed by the designer. They have, what I love is costume prints. So they have prints like postcards or regular artwork. Sorry, guys. And it was just so well handled. But I was very fortunate that the ushers let me go into the mezzanine so I could check out how the view was from the mezz, because several of our Kit Kat Club members are always questioning, how is the seating? Is there a bad seat? Is this a bad seat? Is it partial view? It's a da-da-da-da. Guys, there's no bad seat in the house. The rear mezz, because of the way that they've designed the August Wilson Theater in the round, you're just looking down at the stage, which is, I would say the rear mezz is like the front mezz of any other theater. It was so close. And there's not like, I get a little bit of vertigo. The pitch wasn't bad, like going down at an angle at all. It was very comfortable. And I made my way down around. The seating process was super simple and easy. I came in, I put my drink down. Oh, that show, I cried a couple of times. Just the ambience of it was so welcoming. Welcoming. That's going to be a word now.
Weren't
But
you told to look out for something special with the prologue?
I was. So thank you for keeping me on track. So I always like to ask house management or staff, like, hey, what's your favorite part of the show? Is there something that I should look out for? Something I should check out for? Yes, in fact, Jordan's actually both of them said it. Their favorite part is watching the prologue performers go from being out and around the club, like the bars that you're in pre-show, and transitioning into the main stage area. And so I got to my seat a little bit early, which I always suggest you do anyways, but definitely do it for the show. Got to my seat a little bit early, and you watch this like dark and dimly lit, beautiful designed club come to life. The performers come in, there's a guy playing a clarinet, there's dancers, there's a violinist, and they just are like having this big, beautiful, like, it's like warming up the space. I can't even put it into words. They're bringing life into this place, and it's really cool to watch, kind of like when you water a flower and everything's starting to come up, and there's nothing that distracts you from it. You're just there, and the show starts. No, when you start to hear the drum roll, you're like, where the hell is the orchestra? They are up. They're up on either side of the theater in the round, which is super cool. And they definitely bring you into the show. I was very fortunate because I got to see the full original cast. Again, it's a show. Don't believe anything the reviewers say. Gail Rankin embodies Sally Bowles. Her breakdowns were just gorgeous. The whole cast was wonderful. Really, it was tremendous. But I ran into some patron issues. We'll call the patron to my left the oops, my phone rang 500 times. And we'll call the latecomers that like to use their flashlight every 5 seconds. It was weird, guys. Theater is, to me, I like to be respectful. I put my phone on airplane mode, or I turn it off completely if I need it on for something. Like, it's just on silent. The theater is dark. The performances are there. You are encaptured. You're there. You are in Berlin. You are watching this whole scene unfold. People didn't even distract from BB coming in. So a big problem was, and you guys probably saw like the Page 6 article that just came out where somebody was audibly blowing kisses to BB every time she came on stage. And I was impressed to hear, like, again, some shows when a performer comes on that people know, they're like, yay, woo, it's my favorite actor, whatever. And they'll hold and pause, and it distracts everybody and kind of pulls you out of it. They didn't do that, and I was very appreciative for that. But there is a beautiful song, which is also like the Nazi regime, where Eddie Redmayne is a completely Black theater. He's in a spotlight. The MC is in a spotlight singing this very emotional song, which to me is the flip of the show. And Charlotte and I were having a nice conversation about it. It is where you're there. You have chills. You have tears coming down your face. You're feeling everything that everyone's feeling, being in this, nice, intimate room, comfortable chairs, but also like, we are there. We are watching what's happening. The Nazis are about to attack. Oh my God. And Tomorrow Belongs to Me, and he starts singing it, and it's just his voice, and it's very echoey with the drum roll. And And the ringer next to me, loud, guys, in a deadly quiet theater. And her phone not only is and she's not turning it off, but it's bright and it's lighting up and flashing. And she won't turn it off. She's ignoring the fact, and she knows it. She goes, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm like, turn the fucking thing off. Pardon the language, but like, turn it off. Close it off. Turn it off. At least shut the light off. Like we're in a pitch black room, and then it's like somebody just flashing the sun in your eyeball. Everyone in the area is turning around. Shh, that's distracting. Then her husband then takes his phone to make sure it's on silent. So she's got her phone, like the person didn't stop calling. It's like haunting my dreams. And then he's on his phone doing stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I have my hand up. For those of you that can't see, my hand is like covering like a blinder the whole left side of my head. And I'm leaning, thank goodness, for this little bar in front of me where my drink is, which I don't have enough of alcohol at this point to deal with these people. And I'm hiding the light, and I'm leaning forward, and the people in front of me think it's me. And I'm like, it's not me. Clearly, both of my hands are like on my face. Now, that's the ringer. I forgot to mention our latecomers. So, guys, make sure you get to the theater on time. And by on time, I mean they say an hour early.
Right.
The guy that sold my ticket to me on theater texted me, and he said, hey, are there people sitting next to you? And I said, no. Surprisingly, I'm kind of shocked. And he goes, they never clean their seats. And I said, oh, okay. So it was open for a good bit, probably about 15, 20 minutes. And I was like, oh man, like I wish Amber was here. Like she gets it right here. We could watch a show. And the song Two Ladies, if you're not familiar with it, it's a very cheeky song. It's a lot of fun. I love the song. It's about roommates in Berlin, and people are literally coming out of a suitcase. So cool to watch the stage and set come to life. And here come the ushers bringing the two people in to sit right next to me. So I got a little bit distracted by Two Ladies. At one point, it went from like two people on stage. I turned around to look at the people who are coming near me, who are loud and clicking their glasses. They had enough time to stop at the bar. And I turned my head back to the stage. There's like 8 people and a guy with like matador horns. And I'm like, I just missed nothing. I'm a little frustrated. And now the people next to me are trying to get settled in, and they're using their flashlights, and they're like moving their bags. And there was a guy next to them unzipping stuff the whole time. And I'm like, what is happening, guys? Also, being in a very dark theater and being a theater in the round, meaning you're not just facing a stage. Not everybody is facing one direction. It's a round stage, or pardon me. But action happens everywhere. And actually the stage has multiple rotating parts, which is really cool. But when you're in a dark theater and you are facing a small stage that has performers with very little to no actual set design, because you're in the set and the whole thing is a set design. When you're looking across the way and you see people's faces lighting up from their phones, for example, my lighting is terrible. I don't know if you guys can see this. Well, let's see. When you see like this in a dark theater, we're not telling scary stories, guys. Come on. It is a scary story for your phone to be going off, or for you to be on your phone in the show. First off, tickets are so expensive, but worth it.
But I had the same experience at the last show I saw, which was the tour of Hadestown.
You weren't facing them. They were next to you.
People next to us, she kept texting and then flipping her phone sideways. And every time she flipped her phone, it was in my face, lighting up. It was driving me crazy. We actually moved over because the seats next to us were open. So we moved over a couple of seats.
Well, it was a little frustrating.
Yeah.
Getting into that theater etiquette, turn your damn phone off. You don't need it in the middle of the show. And back to Ezra's point of discussing the performances. Every performance beat another performance, and it was so beautifully done. The costuming is a lot of fun and beautiful and very on point. Gail Rankin is just absolutely gorgeous, inside and out. Eddie Redmayne, guys, I'm gonna say this. I love Eddie. I'm not a fangirl. Fantastic Beast is fine. I love Eddie and what he's done for Cabaret. I do. And Charlotte and I have had very nice conversations. He is truly a lovely human. His costuming is gorgeous. The whole thing that these reviewers are talking about is bullshit. So he comes out and he's very animatronic and very rigid with his movements. And it's really cool to see. And if you're not watching me look like an idiot right now, it's beautiful. And as the show moves on, he limbers up and he becomes more realistic and more smooth of a performance and not rigid. He's becoming more humanistic. They are crawling. If you ever saw cats in the Winter Garden, they're the prologue performers or the cast itself are like coming down the sides of the audience or like crawling through the audience or like making their way through the cabaret tables. Now, if you have a table, just so you guys know, those chairs do not move. They are literally in the ground. So you can't pull the chairs out. You can't squeak the chair around. I know we've seen some of our Kit Kat Club members say, well, if I don't like my view, I can turn my seat. No, you can't. They are small and you do have your food on them or your bottle of champagne if you're part of that program. Which brings me to another point. You're still in the middle of a Broadway show. That does not mean you get up whenever you want to go to the bathroom unless it's an emergency. I noticed a lot of people are kind of peppered in. Oh, we'll get to that in a second, Ezra. How did I interpret his MC? But a lot of people were getting up and moving. Guys, the performers are coming through too. And they're all different shapes and sizes. So when you're getting up and I'm literally watching a performer have to sidestep you, that's not okay. It's distracting. Hold it. If you have a bad bladder, don't drink a whole bottle of champagne. To go back into Ezra's question, here, I'll pop this up on our screen. How did I feel his interpretation of MC? I loved it. I did. I'm a cabaret fan. Love Alan Cummings' performance. Love the original movie, the original show. The way that Eddie portrays the MC is, I think, what this show needs. When the reviews are coming out and I was telling Amber, I was like, look, I want to see this even more so because it's creepy, it's spooky, it's what's needed. You can't just stick a pretty bow on something that literally has to do with the Nazi regime and, you know, abortion. And like, these are serious topics. It's a serious show. It's just the way that the MC comes in and like kind of is a storyteller, but it's also like, my interpretation a little bit is it's Sally Bowles, you know, self-conscious and like Jiminy Cricket style, and but also they're related, but also they're not. Like there's so many different ways to take it, but it's dark and it's dirty and it's grimy, but it's beautiful. And the way that Eddie handles it, it's like watching a conductor with a band and playing along the audience. Like, first off, y'all, I don't know if you've seen, and Eddie talks about this a lot, his workout regimen. To have, and I was telling this about Charlotte, because I called Charlotte about 85 times after the show until she answered her phone. The muscle movement and control that he has throughout the show takes a lot.
Right.
A lot. He works out in between shows on 2 show days. Okay.
Oh, I'm sure.
And they're like up on the banister. So when they say it's a partial view, it's not because you can't see the stage, because you might have a performer's butt in your face.
Right.
But it's fun and it's gorgeous. And I want to be back. I think I left and I said, I want to go back right now.
I've always thought of the MC as like the different, the weird, the not normal, the unconventional.
There's no such thing as normal. Well, it's very Mad Hatter-ish, and I think I always gravitate towards like the weird ones, and that's why I love the MC.
Well, and as you said, as Eddie goes from being this twerk, this weird kind of twitchy character to converting into this normalcy, it's, you know, showing how the Nazi regime takes the unconventional and tries to convert them into this one kind of normal thing.
He's the driving force behind the show for sure.
Right, but how it, you know, there's always that connection to that unconventional weirdness inside.
I love that.
That's kind of always how I've interpreted it.
No, I love that. and again, like the performers, the
But I
ensemble.
also have yet to see this show. But I'm a huge fan of the Alan Cumming
Yes, there were
version.
about 500 different times. I hate you so much. I'm so jealous. I wanted to be there. Bitch, you could have come.
I know.
And then to go into the stage door experience, because I know we're already over time for 1 hour. So thanks for hanging with us a little bit longer. I don't mind talking as long as Amber doesn't mind and little kitties are about to jump onto your shoulder. Do it, kitty. Who is that Rose?
That's Violet.
Oh, it's Violet.
This one's Rose. Violet. Socks.
Guys, I wish if you're not watching this video, the cuddle puddle of the kitties are real. Okay, so let's talk stage door. Again, sometimes I didn't stage door stuffs, but I'll stage door to like talk to cast or crew or just, I'm not a celebrity hound. I don't even take selfies with people. I don't do that. But I noticed I like to stage door because I like to show my appreciation for a live art. The stage door at Cabaret is a little bit different and it's good. I think it's handled very well. They will, again, stage door is never guaranteed who or if anyone's coming out. Security does really well and they'll let you know, okay, that was the last one or thank you so much. They're on top of it, especially at the show. So everybody exits out of the vault bar. So, and there are lifts to answer that question. I know somebody asked in Kit Kat Club before. So you're not coming in on the ground floor, you're immediately going up a staircase. So if you need to get to like the main show entry, that's the orchestra level. Look at Amber learning how to use our chat. She didn't want to start the stream here today because she goes, I'm afraid it's going to start live. Oh my God.
Panicked.
So
Full panic.
Full panic. So you will, if you need assistance with stairs, going up, going down, if you're in a wheelchair, if you just don't like doing stairs, you're on crutches, they do have a separate accessible door that will take you up and down. I hate leaving during curtain call, but I had been warned that it gets crazy. So I wanted to go down there because I wanted to, have a quick chat with Eddie Redmayne about our group. Because I wanted to kind of tell, like, hey, you have a lot of support. I know the reviewers have been rough, but we've got a lot of people who are on your side. So I hauled ass all the way out. I kind of flew down the stairs and I ran into a couple people who were also doing the same thing. And when you come out, there's two sections to the stage door. There's one to the left and there's one to the right. And they're small little corrals. And I say corral where essentially you are in the stanchions and people can get in clearly, but it's kind of holding you away from the rest of society. It's a corral. Yeehaw. But so security was like, oh, you stand over here. And I was like, does it matter? Oh, no, not really. But you're over here is less people. Okay. So I'm in the corral and we'll say this theater patron, and not even a theater patron because they were an autograph hound. We'll call him the dog man.
I was just going to say the hound. Call him the hound.
I'll call him the hound. I'll call him the hound. And it's not fair to call him the hound because it wasn't, but anyways, but the hound. I'm standing up on the stanchion and I'm like up there and leaning. I have a bag of merch because I bought Amber's shirt, my pin, my postcards. I used I don't know what else I put in there. Put something else in there. And I had the tote, the In Here Life is Beautiful tote, which is so cute. And I'm leaning and I'm freaking cold and forgot my undergarments and I'm really cold. And I'm like, give me body warmth. So I'm standing and I'm talking to security and having a very nice conversation, telling them thank you because I always make sure because they deal with a lot of crazies. And I take a step back and I hear a yelp. And I'm like, what the hell is that? It's a dog. Why is there a dog in the corral? Some guy, the hound, did not see the show and he is coming to get Eddie Redmayne's autograph to sell it. And he yelled at me for stepping on his dog's foot. Now, I love animals. I'm a dog person. I felt bad that I heard an animal. One, should not have been in the corral. And two, how am I supposed to know there's a dog behind me? I felt so bad, but the guy chastised me. Security had to make them leave. Thank you, security, because they didn't belong in there. If you had seen the show, and this was a service animal, different story. This was not a service animal. The guy had not been.
Right. We
Anyways,
have a wonderful service animal in our Gatsby group who stage
yeah.
doors all the time. I
Who's
believe
seen the
his
show
name
like
is
20 times?
I believe his name is Moxie, if I'm
So,
not mistaken.
I think so.
Shout out to Moxie.
Shout out to the pups. Shout out to the pups of our Broadway fan club. So I'm still in this corral, and very quickly it's filling up, but it's not like shoving. Everyone's kind of respectful of space, which was nice. And you hear woo, which clearly means somebody's coming out. And Eddie Redmayne comes out just in like a baseball cap, glasses. He's so petite. He's tall, but he's petite. He's like toned. But he comes out in a jacket, just like this little nerdy Newt Scamander. He's not Newt. He portrayed Newt Scamander. He is not Newt Scamander in the show at all. Oh, Violet is making a jump for it. Good job, Violet. She just jumped and her whole butt went bloop. So Eddie comes over, and I have a very quick conversation. I said, Charlotte and Maria say hello. And I just want to say that thank you so much. I actually run the fan group. You've got like 4,000 members over there, and each month we have, and I even checked the numbers with security beforehand, over 40,000 viewers for the last month. And we just want to say thank you so much, and what a wonderful show. And he was just taken aback. He was like, thank you so much for the support. He was so sweet. He signed my playbill. I said, thank you so much. He very quickly did his thing. And people, unfortunately, when he left with his security, probably to go to the gym or to lunch, a horde of people started following him. Guys, have some
Not to backtrack, but didn't you also say that you were like, oh, people, pass your playbills up?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah.
So don't forget to be helpful to your neighbors when stage dooring, because people can't always get to the front.
Yeah, I mean, so Eddie was coming up, and there were older people, there were younger people, and I said, there's plenty of space. First off, I had plenty of space at the stanchion. I said, anybody want to come up or pass your playbill forward? Like, here, like, let me do this for you. Nobody passed the playbill up, but I did have a woman come over to me, and she was able to get her playbill signed, and which was very nice. So when this horde left, she actually turned to me and she said, I have to give you a hug. And gave me this big hug. She goes, thank you so much. You're the reason that I got his autograph. I said, no, I said, there was plenty of space, needed the body warmth. It was her 62nd birthday the day before, and all she wanted to do was meet Eddie Redmayne. So I thought that was sweet.
Yeah.
And
just
I kind of
together.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to run fan groups in order to be nice to people. I talk to people. I kind of feel like I'm on the job. Like, oh, hey, by the way, like I run the fan group, and like Amber, if you were there, we run the fan group, but like, oh, I run the fan group online, but like I kind of have to dress up. That was my response, and everyone was complimenting my dress. I feel like I got to be here. I got to represent. So I was very overwhelmed from Cabaret, like this crazy emotional roller coaster, which is amazing. And then what did I go see next, Amber?
My recommendation, which was Heart of Rock and Roll.
Represent. So I had won lottery for Heart of Rock and Roll Wednesday. And for some reason only had 2 tickets. Had 2 tickets instead of 1. I was like, no, shoot. Call telecharge. They were very accommodating, but I was like, it's $50 for a rush ticket. Like, or a lottery ticket. I'm like, that's a lot. I don't know anything about the show. Amber loved it, but friends didn't like it. Some people loved it. Like, I don't know. So I kind of was like, all right, you know what? After Cabaret, and again, was very fortunate to get a very nice seat, and a rush seat at that from the box office manager. $45. Center work. I'm all right with that. Not complaining. That's how much the seats are, guys. I think the more expensive ticket was $49. Okay. So sorry for the coughing today, guys. It's still part of that process from yesterday going through. So I went in, and it was at the James Earl Jones, which I love. It's where Gutenberg was. I was very excited. I went over, I was like, oh, it's going to be a lighthearted, fun show, and I don't know what I'm really walking into. And, it might be like All Shook Up. It's a jukebox musical, like it's Huey Lewis in the News. How many songs do I actually know of Huey Lewis in the News? I'm like, oh, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. It was so much fun. It really was.
3 Newsies.
3 or 4. Oh, 3 is in
3.
the show itself. Yeah, so this is where my Newsies bingo came into play too. Because you have John Dossett, who was the original Broadway cast of Mr. Pulitzer. You had Corey Cott, who was in, I think he was this ensemble, and Tommy Bracco, who was the original Spot Collins. So super excited. Was like, oh hell yeah, let me come on in here and slide on into the show's DMs. It was a lot of fun, and there's not a bad seat in the James Earl Jones. I sat, and I don't like sitting underneath the balcony. I feel like there's a restricted view, but really, you don't have to look up. You're not like staring at something that's happening on the roof. And I sat next to a bunch of people who had never seen the show, but I had also sat next to people that, and that brings me back to Tommy. I had sat next to people that were like very into the music and singing. Reverting to Tommy for a second, there was a guy sitting, like, I had one empty seat next to me, and the guy that was sitting on the other side at Tommy knew every single song and was like, yeah, like rock hands and like singing along and like stood during a song to like rock out. Don't do that. Also going into cabaret etiquette, don't jump on the stage and try to join the performers or grab Eddie Redmayne's ass. Don't do that. Anyways, going back to Heart of Rock and Roll, which we have some really great cast members, ensemble members, cast crew, creative loved ones.
Heart and Rock and Huey Lewis and the News loved ones.
Yeah. So, and that's not a brag, guys. We want to create these safe foundations and communities so people can just show love. Don't be a stalker. Don't like hit somebody up. Like, don't hit up like Jeremy Jordan's grandma and be like, "Hi, Grandma Jordan." Like, no, we don't do that.
Right.
We don't do that here.
We don't do that.
But went into the show. Now, the James Earl Jones is a little bit smaller of a theater. It is accessible. So bathrooms are on the first floor. There is a rather large elevator to take it down. And you have a small merch area and a small bar. I will post all the pictures of like the bar drinks and the merch that I took at every show I went to this weekend, and then some. I was like, oh, there's some cute merch. There's like Heart of Rock and Roll, like the show's logo. I personally love Power of Love, and it's as bright as this shirt shows. It is that bright. And they have fun cups. I always love the good cups. But went in with just no expectations. It was a lot of fun. What an all-star cast. Mackenzie Kurtz, who was just Glinda in the 20th anniversary for Wicked. Corey, who's essentially Broadway royalty at this point. Again, John Dossett. Really, the whole cast is great. The music's fun.
They posted a really good thirst trap video on their official Instagram page.
Corey's arms. Yeah.
I would recommend checking that out if you think Corey Cott is a cutie.
We did share those. He's married with kids, but it's all right to look.
He's a cutie.
I think Rye posted like, did Corey come out at stage door? Yes, he did. And I said there was definitely a gun show, and Rye was like, her, and I'm like, Corey Cott's arms deserve their own Tony nomination. They're huge. Yeah. Yes.
Speaking of stage door, if you want to watch Heather in action, check out John Taylor's post in our Heart of Rock and Roll group.
No, it's Tony Davis.
Oh, Tony Davis. That's who it is.
Okay, so that's what I'm getting into next. So the show is fun. I'm singing along at the end. We're having a good time, and I haul ass out to the stage door, and I'm just sitting there. No, I hadn't been able to meet up with any of our members. Nobody had commented, which is fine. And I found like a little spot along the wall, and I was excited to see Raymond Lee too, like from Sweeney Todd, and just hanging out. And like as cast is coming out, like it's a small little stage door. There's not really any crazy people. Cast know people at stage door because again, it's their opportunity to say hi to friends and family that supported the show. I'm getting into conversations with people who we later found out we actually know each other through the Beetlejuice fan group in the Netherlands, which is actually how Amber and I technically met. So full circle moment there. But we're sitting there and just talking to cast and crew, like, oh, hey, yeah. They're like, thank you so much for coming out to the show. I had like sparkly makeup and my nails are like very sparkly. And they're like, oh, I love your nails. I love your makeup. I love your, I was like, oh, thank you so much. It's very sweet of you. Yeah, hey, just want to let you know, like your fan group, like everyone like loves the show. We have fans? Wait, we have a fan group? Yeah. So I had great conversations with like cast and ensemble and didn't think much of it. Like, you know, it's kind of conversation. Caught up with Ray for a little bit because I haven't seen him since he was at Sweeney. and we talked about, missing Fleet Street, and they brought in pizza for a cast meeting. We don't know what that means, but everyone came around. I got lots of autographs. It was very organized. Everyone had their own special colored pen. It was awesome. Corey came out. Mackenzie came out. The only person that didn't come out was John Dossett. But Tommy Bracco came out, and I was like, oh, it's my favorite newsie. And that was a lot of fun. And didn't think anything of it. What?
When I stage doored, Corey and Mackenzie didn't come out, but Tommy came out and he didn't have a Sharpie, so I let him borrow mine. So he used it to sign the whole line, and then he brought it back to me.
Also, if you've seen promotions for the video or for the show, and you see Tommy Bracco, so you can recognize him by his mullet.
Yep.
Curly mullet, curly brown mullet, which everyone thought was a wig. It is his real hair. That is commitment. So moving through that line and him coming out, and everyone's very nice. Everyone's, there's little kids that like had the babysitter who's now in the Broadway show. Super cool. And I'm talking to everybody. And I get on the phone with Amber, like, oh my God, it was such a fun show. And like, I was talking to cast, and they were like, oh, wow, we have fans. And wow, you have a fan group? Oh my God, I should join. Yeah, you should. And I'm like, it was such a fun little stage show, and everyone was so appreciative. And was it yesterday when you tagged me? And I'm like,
it was when you were at Stalker.
Okay, so I went to Stalker yesterday, which we'll get into. While I'm in a matinee for a really cool like magic show that's at New World Stages, which is put on by Penn and Teller. We'll get into that in a second. My phone was blowing up. I'm like, what am I missing here? And I look, and Tony B. Davis, who's one of our members over at Heart of Rock and Roll, every video that they took, I had no idea. They had no idea. Every video was me in a very bad angle, like looking like I got 4 chins and like just kind of leaning against the wall. Oh, hey, yeah, the fan group. And every moment that I had just like recited and relived through Amber, like, yeah, and this cast member was like, we have fans? What? Oh my God.
I was like, it's right here. It's right there.
It is there. So if there was any doubt that I am full of shit when I'm saying I'm going to be a stage door, to me, like, we have fan groups and they say hi, and there's real proof.
There's real funny.
Proof. But also really funny that all of it happened while I was at Stalker.
Right.
But yeah, so got into great conversations with everybody. Was so appreciative. Actually wound up walking with the Netherlands guy Christopher and his friend Lauren, and we walked. I went to go to get Dee Dee's Soup Dumpling again, and they were closed early. I was so sad.
Yeah, show some love, guys. It's a lot of fun. It's just like a fun way to kill a couple of hours. Tickets are
it's not even killing a couple of hours. I would say if you're a fan of like the kind of storylines like Grease and Kinky
like
Boots,
Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
If you like those type of movies.
Weird 80s
like
movies.
John Hughes movies. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And
support that show.
See it before you can't. It doesn't have like these big flashy sets. It has like fun stuff. It's a lot of fun. The music's fun. If you're a fan of Back to the Future, go see it. Like, it's so much fun. There's a lot of twists. There's a lot of like 80s like callbacks. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I was smiling the whole time. And people like they were in town because like the girl and her partner that were next to me, they were in town because her sister had just gotten proposed to, and the other sister couldn't afford to come out from California to help with the proposal. So they bought them tickets to this show. And the guy that was her partner, he was like, I've never seen a Broadway show. This is my only one I'm going to see. We're from Ohio. And I was like, oh, wow, really cool. And he was like, I don't know what to expect. He was asking about the orchestra. Like, oh, it's not like a button they push. I was like, no, there's a live orchestra for the show.
Right. So, they're just in the back of the stage.
Or underneath.
Right.
So it was really cool to see that was somebody's first time. But yeah, it was a hell of a lot of fun. Go see it before you can't. The set design is fun. The dancing is a lot. It's very intense, and it makes sense that there's a bunch of newsies in that show.
Exactly.
A lot of dancing, but fun. And like Tommy Bracco pulls some like back flips and forward flips and the full crazy split. You're like, dude, are you that bendy? Donna, you love the show. That's what we'd like to hear.
Yeah.
Guys, disclaimer, we are not sponsored by any of these shows.
Right.
I spent a lot of money on tickets this week. So if you think that I'm talking about this for any kind of thing except to just talk about how much I loved my weekend, you're wrong.
Right.
You're just dead wrong. So here I am. I like pimp myself out in my NASCAR like attire. I have my Heart of Rock and Roll shirt on with my Pinball Wizard hoodie. I was so excited. I even had my cabaret tote. Like I looked like a NASCAR driver. It was great. I spent way too much money. And Dad, if you're still listening, don't judge me, please. My dad's like my business manager. He's like, just don't overdo it, kid. And I'm like, I'm sorry. But it worked. um, and then Sunday, Mother's Day, guys. Never been to the city on Mother's Day. It's all right. It's not, to me, it's like a Hallmark holiday, and respect all the mothers out there, the people that want to celebrate with their moms. Totally cool. My mom was in Fort Lauderdale. I was in New York. We both came back yesterday and today. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go over to Merrily. I'll see if I can get a last minute ticket. Wrong. I got there 20 minutes early. I did not remember if the box office opened at 12, and I was on the phone with Amber, and I was like, hey, I'll call you right back as soon as I'm done getting a ticket or not getting a ticket. I called her like 30 seconds later. She's like, that quick? And I'm like, theater's still closed for 20 minutes. I
sat on the curb outside.
No, I sat on the carpet inside of the lobby.
Oh.
No shame. No shame at all. Watched some of Broadway up close as a Hudson up close, and I saw a couple of their like tour guides, or at least I think it's their tour guides that were talking to people in front of the stairs, probably for the Broadway Beginnings tour. So, and I went in, and the tickets were still like $300 for rear work, and I'm like, I can't justify that. That's more than Cabaret was, and Cabaret is like a 4-hour experience. Yeah. So I was like, all right, you know what? Maybe I will go to Six or to Hadestown. So I went over to, hey, I love that shirt. I've only seen Six on tour, and my girl Jasmine is in the production in New York right now. And my friend JJ was like, you should
That
at
it
least.
is, Donna. That it is.
Yes. Oh, what? The
Merrily
show
is very
expensive?
expensive.
Which one? All of
Merrily.
them. Oh yeah.
Merrily.
Yeah. But I went over to Hadestown, and Hadestown was kind of the same thing. They were like, we have rear orchestra side partial view for $200. And I'm like, no. So I wanted to go, oh yeah, thank you, Donna. Yeah, I mean, but worth it because you're getting Broadway royalty in a show, and it's a Sondheim show.
Yeah.
Which you clearly understand. But I'm going to be back up around Tony's weekend, so I'm going to try my hardest.
I think it's closed by then. I think it
July.
closes July 7th.
July 7th. It's not closed. Trust me, I would have just sold my right arm for it.
I was like, I knew it was, I couldn't remember if it was June 7th or July 7th.
Yeah. No, July 7th. And tickets, I mean, look, y'all, and not even going back to Cabaret, that's not bad, Donna. 200's not bad. Going back to like what we're talking about, like ticket prices, that theater app, again, not being paid by them. They are our startup company. They started just a couple months ago promoting on Buy Sell Broadway. And they didn't have an Android app for quite some time, but once they did, everyone started watching it because they used to give out tickets all the time. And but I'm seeing people posting for like May 22nd, $100 for mezzanine at Cabaret.
Yeah, they do have some great deals on the theater app. I would definitely recommend it.
Yes,
That's
I keep telling them
theater with no E at the end.
Or before the R. There's only one E instead of 2 or 3. Yeah.
Right.
Right, one of those. So I tried for Six. Six was like partial. I went to TKTS for that one. Partial, side view, front mezz, blah, 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 blah. Yes, you do, Donna. Absolutely. And I'm like, there's just no tickets left for anything. And I'm very frustrated. And what do I do? Because I needed a six show. We don't count Ben's show. 2 on Thursday, 1 on Friday, 2 on Saturday. 6 show. That's pretty common for me. And I wanted to go see Stalker. Stalker is a magic show. It is all about when people were not part of social media and how they now want to be stalked. Really fascinating stuff. I have dated a couple of pretty well-known illusionists and magicians in my life, so I kind of know how to poke holes in a lot of things, but there were some really cool tricks that they did. Sleight of hand that just kind of blew your mind. They literally took a photo of a mom and her daughter, took a picture of it after bending spoons, fine, after bending spoons, took a picture of them, brought them over a cake, cut open the cake box. The cake box had on top of the cake edible paper that had the mother and daughter's photo that they took in it. And then from that, they took the mother's phone, they made the phone disappear into thin air, and then the daughter called the mother's phone and the phone was inside of the cake. It was awesome. Ezra, let's see. Ezra says, I enjoyed Merrily, was great. My dad, who saw it with me, had to explain the issues of the show and how audiences didn't react well to the plot and the order which it was told. We didn't see Linda Mendez, she was sick, but we saw everyone else. That's great. Yeah, it goes backwards. And
I had the same experience, Ezra. When I saw it, I also did not see Lindsay. She was out sick, and I saw everyone else.
Well, now she's pregnant. So she's really
now
sick.
She's pregnant. Congratulations to Lindsay.
Yes, congratulations. My phone fell. Look, you can still see my messy guest room that I'm waiting for Amy and John to come from Wisconsin and hang all my lunch lines. But I left soccer and went over to Schmackery's. Oh, I have Schmackery's cookies. I didn't eat my Schmackery's cookies yet. Go to Schmackery's, guys. They are Broadway's cookie.
Yes, Donna, that is the correct app.
It wasn't a great year. It wasn't a great night when I saw it, but Daniel Radcliffe's fabulous after the show. So yes, the app is theater. THEATR. Yep. Yeah, so left, went over to Schmack's, went over to the Disney store for a little hot minute. Picked up, so the Disney store in Times Square is the only place besides the Aladdin Broadway show theater to get the 30th anniversary. 30th? Not 30th. Oh my God. How many years has Aladdin been on Broadway? However long their anniversary. Is it 20 years?
I have no idea.
My brain is fried, guys. Do not judge me. That's like the other day when we were talking about a show being locked down. It's being frozen. My brain is not functioning today. On Broadway, this is what Google is for. 10th anniversary? Stand by. 10th anniversary. Feels like much
longer. I was going to say 10 sounded right.
Yeah, because Wicked's been 20.
Right.
30, not 30. I thought it should be 40 years. Aladdin's been here for 40 years. But at the Disney store, I forgot about it completely, but I'm a Disney kid and I live in Orlando, so I wanted to see. It is 10.
It is 10.
But I completely forgot about it until I went into the Disney store just on a whim because I was like, I'm going to kill some time. And I got the Aladdin Spirit jersey. They do have the Judy and Burks. They have all the cool stuff from the anniversary. So that's cool. Only place you can buy it. And then I had a really wonderful weekend. And then I left on the train instead of taking the shuttle back to Newark Airport, and I got attacked. So it was a bookend of stuff. I will say, and I will never publicly call out a company, but I probably will not be flying with United again. And that's just a personal preference. They were very upset with me taking a tote bag that had a jacket, a pillow, and a sweatshirt in it, and really made it quite difficult. Oh, Donna, really? While I had just been attacked on the train and was like still having a panic attack, and they're screaming at me that I can't get my boarding pass because I have to pay $100 to check my pillow, my blanket, and my sweatshirt. So that was fun. And then I got past security. Now the in-flight crew was great. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna buy you drinks and food." Okay, that was very nice of you, but like, it was not great.
Right.
But it was a really great Broadway weekend.
Definitely. I could have been there.
I wish you could have been too. I usually do like a Friday through Monday, and I really actually think I'm gonna start adjusting Thursday through Sunday. Because most theaters are dark.
And those matinees on Thursdays too.
Yeah. Most theaters are dark on Mondays, hence why we love to do our show on Monday nights, because we still want to give you theater 7 days a week. But I do think I might start adjusting a Thursday through Sunday. Obviously, next month, probably gonna do a Thursday through a Monday because hey, the Tonys are on Father's Day and it's a Sunday.
Right.
I am not sure where I'm gonna be. I know Amber's gonna be at a Barbie Bachelorette weekend. And I have to show her her pink sparkly sequin dress. But sucker. So I'm hoping, I don't know if Ben's going to be doing anything, Ben Cameron.
For the record, I'm excited about the Bachelorette. I'm not
Yes.
excited about the pink Barbie. I'm not a very
That's
pink
fair.
Barbie person, despite having pink hair.
You have Cheshire cat hair. It's okay. We know you love pink. Pink, neon pink is your baby pink is your favorite color. No, not at all. But I told you to dress like weird Barbie, but you said the instructions said pink and Barbie. So, but at least you had some cute clothes, and if you don't like them, I'll wear them.
Yeah, right?
With that being said, I have talked your ears off for an hour and a half. We do have the Etsy
I
shop.
want to
Yes,
I want to plug in our Etsy shop. Yes, I do. We have
I'm
some
putting
new
it up right
designs.
now. Right on top of that, Rose.
I have some new designs that I'm about to post from Sups. We have some great American bitch
I love my
bracelets.
idea. She's like, get some ideas for our Etsy bracelets. I'm like, great American bitch. And
Yep, and we have some.
it's in the stuff's colors, which are purple, yellow, and white, which I love.
So those will be posted later on tonight, so you guys get the first peek at them.
Ooh, sexy sneak peek. And then I'll be shipping off some of the ones that I designed that are also up on the Etsy shop right now when I send Amber her shirt,
Yes,
which will hopefully be like this week.
yes.
But lots of stuff. Yeah, check out the BroadwayFanClub.etsy.com. That'll take you right over to our Etsy shop if you want to show your show support. That's hard to say. If you want to show your favorite show support or be a little cheeky, you can. If there's a design that you'd like to see or colors you'd like to check out, definitely hit us up. We have no problem custom designing. I think Amber, you made 4 for somebody and Tommy, right?
I've made so many Tommy bracelets that
Yeah,
it's not
love it.
even funny.
I
Tommy's
love
our
it. And
best
it's fun
seller.
too. I have to give a shout out to some of our Sweeney members. Something that we didn't even know was happening because they did it on their own. Is they created the bracelet brigade for the
Yes,
closing of Sweeney Todd. So they actually arranged it with an ensemble member where they traded bracelets to the cast. Like so
yeah,
cool.
super fun.
These silly little beaded bracelets that were popular in the 80s and 90s. Taylor Swift thing, whatever, but they're so fun and they're comfy and like I love wearing them and I don't care. Like I get to show my show support. Um, and I always say, if you can't be an athlete, be an athletic supporter, so be a theater supporter.
Yep.
With that being said, yes, definitely check out our Etsy shop, the BroadwayFanClub.etsy.com. And if you want to sign up for our upcoming newsletter, find out all the details, and get exclusive looks at our photos before anybody else does, you can go to the BroadwayFanClub.com. Sign up for our newsletter right there and then. And if you want to see all of the millions of groups that we run, please go ahead and check out our link tree, which is linktr.ee/the con artists with an S at the end. We'll be changing that over to the Broadway Fan Club very soon. But if you want to join any of our groups, please don't hesitate to. Even if you don't know anything about the show and you're trying to learn, please jump in.
That's the place to do.
Yeah.
That's the place to do it.
We just ask that you guys are kind. It's a very welcoming and safe community. If you try to manipulate people, if you try to scam people, if you try to overtake the conversation, if you're rude,
You're out.
people, bye. I had somebody who wanted me to pick up a $125 silk scarf for them at Cabaret Saturday, and was very upset with me that I would not show them pictures of the scarf. And I'm like, there are no pictures allowed. Very upset. That's okay. You can be upset. I had somebody else who was trying to figure out if Cabaret had magnets. And I personally spoke to the house manager and the merchandise manager to find out because that's what Amber collects. And when
You
I
can see
said,
them all on my refrigerator.
yes, you can. And I had responded to them after they provided misinformation from one of my members that, hey, in fact, they're not getting them in a couple of weeks. They're getting them soon. There's no exact date or guarantee. And their comment was, I don't want to be part of a group that has nasty admins. We're not being nasty. We're literally here to speak to the right people so you guys don't have to go out of your way or think that you're getting something different. We are information gatherers and we want to help create this community. And if you don't like it, sorry. With that being said, yeah, an hour and 40 minutes talking about 6 Broadway shows. I'm here for it. We'll get into more of that theater etiquette, but something
And
else
say
happens.
goodbye to the kittens because
Oh,
they won't
bye,
be here
kittens, as
next
they all
week.
perk up except socks. Bye, kitties. Something that we did want to briefly talk on, because it did happen this weekend too, is concert versus show. And I think that goes in along with theater etiquette too. There was some crazy stuff that happened with Little Shop of Horrors this weekend. And they wound up, and it's very rare opportunity that a lot of these shows have to do a concert version of their show, which means they'll do a couple of songs, but they don't do the script, they don't perform, it's just in concert.
There's no set changes.
And it brings up something. It's happened at Sweeney, like I think once or twice, maybe.
Yes.
And a couple of other shows. It is so rare. And then it happened over at Little Shop. They offered the attendees the option to get a refund or to stay. And it brought up a good point before we even get into what happened, but it brought up a good point. And I asked Amber, would you? She's like, hell yeah. And I'm like, me too. It's so unique and rare. It's very raw. And what happened is that, and again, I wasn't at the show, but we did learn about these. Oh, yay, Donna, I'm glad that you signed up for the notifications on the app. That's awesome. But what happened is that these people that decided to stay, they were offered the opportunity for the refund or stay, and they said, okay, we're going to stay. And then before they loaded into the house was like, oh, by the way, everyone's getting a refund. So they pretty much
what happened is that there were too many cast members ill for them to perform the show as planned.
There were no urchins.
No urchins.
But the people that did stay
they offered them a concert version of the show or a refund. But the people that did stay ended up getting refunded anyways.
And something that was really cool too is that Jinx Monsoon, who's portraying Audrey, actually stayed and took a photo with every single person in the entire audience, which is great. So guys, if it's like being bumped off of a flight for extra mileage or extra, a free ticket, take it. Like,
it's a once in a lifetime chance.
It's so raw and rare. It's like seeing an understudy.
Right.
We have a member over at our Fleet Street fans that his whole mission was to see every understudy for that show, and he did. And it's a very unique experience to see somebody who doesn't usually perform that role. And it trickles down. We were talking about like Gatsby yesterday. One person moves into a role, then that whole track has to get covered. It kind of shifts the dynamic. I don't remember what I was watching. Somebody was talking about, sometimes you're doing a show. I think it was at Tommy, honestly. I think it was at the Cabaret where you might, oh yeah, it was. It was a dance captain over at Ivan, over for Tommy at Ben's Cabaret, talking about, sometimes you don't see somebody that's on the opposite side of the stage from you until you're at the show. It's like all week long, you don't see them until you're performing. So it's a great opportunity to kind of switch things up a bit. But guys, the biggest takeaway I want you to take from the show, Jinx Monsoon is incredible. Yes. We'll talk about the Dr. Who musical on this next episode. But really, the thing is, theater is interpretive. I think that's a takeaway. If you're going to be a patron, be a good patron. Have respect for other people. Have respect for other people's space. And if you can't
it's a shared space. It's a shared space. Be an adult.
Yeah. And if you can't handle it, download the Broadway HD app, which also I have, and watch a show from home. But respect people. Don't take it as Larry is now liking our Broadway Fan Club's video. Thank you, Larry Lelly, you stalker. But take it as respect everybody. You're going in. It's a shared space, as Amber says, but it's a shared environment and a shared experience too. There is nothing like sitting in a theater and everybody's having the same reaction. It's such an energy. A couple months ago, we had the full eclipse and the total eclipse of the sun. If you guys remember where you were, if you're in the US, where you were, I was like, that's a once in a lifetime or a twice in a lifetime opportunity. But for one moment of everybody that was in the path of totality, everybody was staring up at the sun. It reminds me of Fievel somewhere out there. Everyone was staring up at the giant ball of fire in the sky with safe glasses, hopefully, and experience something together. And you could feel the togetherness we had. And I'm not trying to get on a soapbox. I'm not trying to be emotional, but that's what theater is to me. And I think to Amber too, and pretty much everyone that's kind of hanging out with us, It's a
Yeah.
shared experience that you can never replicate. You can never replicate how you're feeling, how everyone in the theater is feeling, how the performers are feeling, how the music's playing. Everything's going to be different every time.
Right.
And we need a little bit more togetherness in this world. And if theater is the way to do it, then hell yeah, I am on board. I am not rich by any means, but I wanted to see these shows this week, not only to be able to talk effectively to our amazing members and to brag to Amber, but to support the shows. And, I enjoyed it. And I feel I'm on this like awesome theater high of sorts. And I'm going right into the Orlando Fringe. And it's just so wonderful. And it's that really lovely wave of art.
Yay, Ezra. That's what we like to see.
I had a fun time writing about Tommy once I joined the group because what I felt was unlike any feeling I felt before. Damn right, Ezra. Write about it. Talk to us about it. All of our members are always welcome to give their reviews. If you're rude about something, sorry, it doesn't belong there. We've had people join just to complain about a ticket price. Bye-bye. But for everything else, come do see, create this community with us, sit at our
Yes.
table. Come
Yes.
have a drink with us. Come sit at our table. Again, with that being said, guys, join us in our link tree. We've been going almost 2 hours, and I say we, it's mostly me talking and rambling. But I so appreciate everyone kind of hanging out with us and joining us. And we'll have even more next Monday.
Yes.
But stay tuned to all of our groups too. One more time, I'll put that banner up for our link tree. Check out our groups. You'll never know how many until you start joining them and what we do. And I love when I'm talking
You
to
never
people.
know who you'll see in them.
That's true. And I'll be releasing the exclusive photos from this past weekend in those groups over the next day or so you guys can see
Perfect.
everything and be fully prepared. With that being said, thank you for spending your Monday night with me and Amber.
Yes. Thank you guys for participating. This was a blast.
Yeah, I hope you guys learned some stuff and took away some stuff, and just knowing that we're helping educate and helping create that sense of community, that's what we're here for. So thank you again. We'll see you guys next Monday, hopefully same bat time, same bat channel at 7 o'clock. Ezra, you're fabulous. Thank you so much. Here, I'm going to put that up because that makes me feel good. Oh, thank you, Donna. We're so glad that you guys were able to join us tonight. And hey, if you want to be guests on our show,
Charlotte!
Charlotte, I hope you heard us talk all the nasty stuff about you. You're lovely. So love you both, my friend. Love you, love Esper, love Donna, love Charlotte, love all of you guys. My dad's okay. He can hang out. But no, we're so appreciative of the support and everything. And we're really here to share the love. Why not?
Yes.
We'll see you guys next Monday. We'll start posting if you guys have any ideas. And we're going to be announcing our winner soon for our peg dolls from our awesome members. So, hey, make sure you guys follow along and enter. Until then, have a great week, and we'll see you at the next act.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.